Hi, good afternoon. Welcome, everybody. This is Frequency Network for advanced training on the use of Healy. So this platform is provided by Healy World for our collective learning. So before we begin, let me go through the disclaimer first, that this platform here is actually for educational purpose only. All right, it is reference, it is not recommendation or advice, right? So when you use the information that I share today, please observe your own discretion and your own judgment whether or not you can follow the the advice or the sharings, the information that is shared over here. Okay or not? All right. And when we are using the device, today we're using the device to harmonize our relationship, okay, to use it to analyze our information field. Now, some of us may use it to support our body's energetic field as well. So, Healy and MagHealy, they are not medical devices. They are not intended to cure, treat, mitigate, diagnose, or prevent any diseases or medical condition. So should you have any suspicion or serious condition, please seek advice and assessment or diagnosis from qualified medical professional. All right. So Healy and the MagHealy only help you to harmonize your energetic field, to support your body. Okay, so this webinar is actually recorded and it will be published on social media and other media platforms by the company. Okay, so if you are giving your questions later on, so please be aware that it is recorded and only share what you are willing to share with the public. Okay. All right. So a little bit about myself. I'm Christi Wong from Singapore. I'm a certified bioenergetic profiling life coach since 2017 with a bit of background in counseling and teaching A-level biology. So I started my journey in wellness since 2010, and I started with the Meridian system and then moving on to conducting wellness training and education. So I have used Healy since 2010, 2021, I mean, and yeah, I've enjoyed the benefits a lot and have guided many people in the use of Healy and MagHealy to make their lives better. So I call this life powered by energetics, and that's what Healy and MagHealy can do for us. So today our session is about relationships. This is the month of February, and love is in the air, right? So we talk about Valentine's Day next week, and many of you are probably busy shopping for gifts for your partners, for your loved ones. So let's remind ourselves, okay, what is truly important, because in loving others, we also want others to reciprocate and love ourselves. All right. So here today we are focusing more in depth, okay, about why we love the way we love, okay, or why we expect other people to love us in a certain way. So there is some information in our consciousness that we gather along the way, all right, and that actually shape us in the way we perceive love and relationships. So we are talking about consciousness, where the craving and the desire started, and also how to harmonize ourselves if there are any disharmonization using frequencies from Healy and MagHealy. So we are going to talk initially, the first part, about our subconscious. Okay, you may have noticed, regardless of your age, you may have noticed that our relationships is not always lovey-dovey, smooth sailing, mwah, mwah, all the time, right? So there are dramas, there are conflicts with people, um, simple, short-lived, or even those that even last for years and decades even, right? So where does all this drama come from? Why do we participate in being emotional in creating what we call drama? So where does it come from? And the next section, we are going to learn how to surface some of these subconscious issues that we are going through, or the people around us are going through, so that we can learn something and then help them. All right? Yeah. Using the aura and coach. And the final section will be using specific frequencies and programs to harmonize our energetic field, okay, so that we can actually enjoy more happiness. Okay, we can truly, deeply connect and enjoy the relationships with everyone around us. Okay, now whether if you're happy and fully satisfied with the quality of relationships, that's excellent. Okay, that's excellent. Now, if you're struggling with some areas, certain people in your life, okay, whether it's your spouse, your parents, your in-laws, okay, your colleagues, your friends, anyone, every struggle is an indication or is a spotlight to tell us that there is an opportunity for us to heal and to work on the lessons that we learn in this life. Okay, now, so if your relationship is good, you're going to strengthen it today. All right, you'll further strengthen and deepen it today. But I'm going to pay more attention to dramas, all the dramas, the unhappiness, the struggle, the conflicts in our relationships. Okay, so when I say drama, what do I mean? So we use it. So as you listen, I want you to actually think through, reflect, okay, whether are we the ones, okay, that is creating and causing the drama. Sometimes we do not know why, but we seem to be triggered and react in a certain way. And why are we doing that? Okay, sometimes it's other people doing it on us. Okay, and I hope that today's session will help us to better understand where they are coming from, why they are the way they are, and therefore develop compassion or share our ways, okay, to help them. Okay, so drama can come about from any of these methods. And in Healy, you will see these words appearing. Okay, emotional extortion or emotional blackmail. Okay, so either we show the negative feelings, okay, or others show the feelings to us, and we get entangled, intertwined with all this. So either people, if you ever feel guilty or made to feel guilty about something, or you have somebody who threatened to harm themselves or cease to communicate, okay, withholding communication, withholding affection. Yeah, and I've come across cases where people withhold communication for decades. Okay, the longest one was 30 over years. Two sisters not talking to each other. All right, yeah, exploiting insecurities, giving threats, okay, conditional love, people playing victim. For example, there was a mother whose son uh, struggled with depression ever since he had the first relationship breakup. So that means in his teenage years, after a failure in a relationship. He went into depression. And until today, the child is in his 30s and yet cannot seem to come out of it and still playing the victim role. So making life very, very difficult for the mother. Okay, so some give ultimatums that result in divorces. Okay, and then some use public shaming and all sorts of ways and methods trying to communicate what they desire, okay, and sometimes throwing their frustration, expressing their frustrations when they do not have the words or ability to express or communicate what they want. Okay, so if there's a drama, everybody suffers. Okay, it's a lose-lose situation, and we do not want this to perpetuate. All right. Now, how does all this get started? Okay, if we look at right from the beginning, right, every individual, okay, everything started basically from the relationship with our mother. You may say that, but I have a wonderful relationship with my mother. Okay, even that can cause problems later on. Okay, so lend me your ears and we are going to dive into the topic. Okay, now the first 7 years are the developmental years, and I've shared before that in this first early years of our life, we do not use the conscious mind. Okay, so we absorb and take in information from our environment 100%. We absorb. Okay, there is no filter. At least now you will filter. When I talk or say something, let's say a slip of tongue, I use the wrong word, you will filter and say, oh, she meant something else. You see, or you can filter in terms of emotions. If I use a harsh word, then you say, no, I don't think Christi really truly meant that. Okay, so you will have filters, you see, as an adult. But before the age of 7, we have no filters. And we sometimes think that we start absorbing from our environment only from the point of birth. But we started receiving information much earlier in our mother's womb. All right. So starting from the time when we are in our mother's womb, we would have already started to absorb information from her and from her environment. So if the mother is engaged in a happy marriage relationships, you will absorb that as well. All right. But if her stresses started, even when you are in the mother's womb, you will start to absorb all the messages that comes through her. All right. And we get the egg and the sperm from the parents. So the egg itself, okay, whatever trauma that your mother goes through in her entire life before you were conceived, all the information is actually stored in the body. We have talked a little bit about that in the past. So what happens is when she contributed the egg, right, there are organelles, information, DNA inside, and other information that is locked within the egg. Everything is passed to each one of the offspring. Okay, so your mother passes a lot to you, and then your father also passes, but less. And the other thing is we spend 9 months generally, we spend 9 months to in what? We spend 9 months in our mother's womb. Okay, so therefore our connection and our ability to feel how she feels is very, very strong. Okay, yeah. So we understand or we feel our mother's struggle. Okay, whether it's a struggle with money, we talk about manifesting money, And then how did that lack or craving for money and all that come from? It could be what she struggled when she conceived you. Okay, her struggle with your father, her struggle with her family. Okay, so all of the struggles, chemically, we actually feel it through the umbilical cord and through that womb space within her. Okay, now, if you have issues with your father, with your spouse, okay, and other people, it is likely that there are some relationship issues with the mother. So it seems that especially with the spouse, okay, anyone who have problem with the spouse very likely have problem with the mothers. Okay, money issues. Okay, I mentioned just now. Okay, if there are lack, okay, or hardship while you are conceived, even that you will absorb, okay? Fears, any fears that she has. So you may have unexplainable fears in your life, which you don't understand why. Okay, you may have money, but you still feel that every time you look at the bank account as if it's not enough. So there are fears lurking in your life, all right? Fears that your marriage will be short-lived, fears of whatever, all right? And then sickness, certain sickness are actually related to the mother wound, all right? By aligning with her, okay, or certain sickness give you certain advantages and privileges, and therefore you will perpetuate that very, very long term, okay, because you are looking for the same benefits that you used to get. Okay, now some of the memories we have, okay, that means from the time when you can remember things, and if you can look back, you can actually remember incidences, scenarios, all right, your pain, all that you can remember. Some of it we actually hear from the stories that our parents or relatives tells us, okay? Yeah. Now, what about memories that are earlier than that? In the womb, who is going to tell you? Maybe not. And how do we actually know this? So I'm going to talk about using Healy, the Aura program, to surface, all right, to help to surface some of these issues that are buried deep within our subconscious so that we can see them and not just rely on our memory alone. Okay, because we choose to remember certain things, and some of the unhappy memories we would have swept them under a carpet, or we would have suppressed them because we do not want to think about it, because thinking about it will dig out and then create the wound all over again. So therefore, when we use the aura reports, we are using it today. I'm going to show you to identify causes of relationship breakdown, conflicts, drama, and all that. Okay, so I assume here that you know how to do the analysis. You need to put your photograph in it, and you must have a Resonance Plus, Healy Professional, or Healy Obsidian. Okay, otherwise you may have to purchase the Aura module by itself. So yeah, so just follow the instructions, and then you will come to reports. Now, these reports that I show you here, you may not get it straight away in one particular analysis. Okay, so as I mentioned before, that you will have to use aura analysis daily for probably 30 days before you will see a lot of different issues and the statements here start to surface in your reports. All right, so you have to do that. And I'm taking snippets of different report statements to help us to understand and see how this is actually related to our mother wound. Okay, some parts of it will show the relationship with your mother. Okay, now, for example, Okay, I'm not talking about all these percentages because that will take a lot of time and it will distract me from the topic. All right. I may answer it maybe later on, but not now. Okay, so for example, it may come out like this, a lack of motherly love. Okay or not? So as the statements appear in your analysis report, as you read them, okay, don't avoid, but actively think. All right, think which are the situation that the motherly love is deficient. Okay, now sometimes it could be because the mother uh, left this world early. Okay, there was one that I've encountered. This statement appear, and in this person's life, her mother passed away 5 days after she was born. 5 days. Some of them is because the mother uh, cannot keep them, okay, and raise them, so therefore they are not in the picture, okay, and they are brought up by other people. All right, so this may actually surface, so you have to look at your situation, what actually caused that. Okay, so it's the acknowledgement. All right, so if you find that your relationship is good, and then why is this still coming up? So there are probably instances where you felt that strongly, or it could be a certain period of your life. For example, I have analyzed somebody and the person told me that, no, I have a wonderful relationship with my mother. I'm living, in fact, with my mother, and we are the best of friends. Okay. So I asked, was there a period of time where your relationship with the mother wasn't good? And it happens to be teenage years during puberty. She said they had big fight that he almost want to walk out of the house. Okay. Yeah. So, so don't look at the situation here and now. Okay. So think of the situation in your entire life. Okay. So it could be referring to certain phase of your life. Okay, not? Yeah. Then, so that means whatever that surface is significant to you, that means it has actually make an impact in your subconscious. All right, it matters to you. Okay, yeah. Although things may have actually improved over the years as you mature, so of course you will also be learning your lessons as well. Okay, so basically your information fields record every single thing. All right, so those earlier impact is still within you and therefore has to be dealt with. Okay, now this one here is the person has perceived their mother as a powerful and manipulating personality. So this reflects the conflicts that you have with your mother. So sometimes they are controlling, sometimes you can't make your own choice, decisions, and all that. So you have that. So the mother tried to fill the role as an ideal mother. So these are struggles that your mother go through, and you may not understand. Sometimes you have conflict, but when you see this, it helps you to understand that your mother, your imperfect mother, is really trying her very, very best, to be the ideal mother to you. Okay, so as you read all this, I hope that it will bring about compassion, okay, and desire to heal relationship with your mother. Okay, now paternal relationship with your father sometimes first spring from your relationship with the mother. Okay, yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Like this one here, gender conflict, okay, in your gender roles, meaning that sometimes in your family, okay, the role of the father and the role of the mother sometimes can be switched, and therefore you find yourself also not knowing which way to go. Okay, now a lack of fatherly love was experienced because the father was not available with his love. Now, this one doesn't mean that the father is not present. Sometimes the father can still be in an intact family, but because they are busy, because they are travel, so you cannot experience that love. And sometimes it's because they are very, very strict, okay? They are military, okay? Or they are dominant. You therefore cannot experience it, okay? And sometimes it's because they abandoned, they leave you, okay? Or they leave the world, okay? So any of this, okay? And then here, the mother tried to take the father's role as well. So this is where you can also have conflict with the mother because of this. And yeah, and sometimes, you know, how the mother is being treated by the father, that means by her husband, how the mother is treated by your father when you observe, when you watch, correct or not? So you can actually reject one of the parent because of the struggle that you see your mom went through. Okay, not so then after that, it started with the mother wound and then it switched to us rejecting the father. Okay, so yeah, so those things can come out. For example, you start to uh develop fear, okay, or you start to reject the father role in the house, in your family because of your perception, okay? Now, sometimes it's because the father carried out disciplinary roles, so it has the carrot and the stick, meaning that because some of us grow up in times where uh, it is not criminal to to have punishment, all right, for them to beat you, okay? So physical contact and all that, nah? So in those times, it happens, all right? So now we tend to use the soft approach. So if you have that kind of interaction before, so therefore you may actually develop certain resentment, okay, emotionally extorting, punishing entity, and all this. Yeah. So, how you perceive your father now, or how you perceive other male roles in your life. Okay, so sometimes we can transfer that. Okay, the way we perceive our father is like this. So when you go to work, when there is a male authority figure who is the CEO or who is the head of department, who is your reporting officer, you will also automatically, because of your subconscious, perceive him that way. All right. So you may perceive your boss as a carrot and stick kind of person. Like, I better be good, I better perform, otherwise I'll be punished. Okay or not? So whether or not it's true, it does not matter because your subconscious will tell you that to therefore stay safe. You know, don't go and make the mistakes and then experience what you experienced with your father, with your bosses. Yeah. So it transfer. All right. So all this will actually transfer into every areas of your life. Okay. Now this one here, sometimes you feel motherly love or fatherly love only when you're good. So look at yourself, okay? Especially obedient children. Okay. Now, if if at home you behave well, okay, and your mother lavish you with love and attention and affection, and when you get married, okay, you will also be that very good, obedient, faithful, good wife. Do whatever that is considered good in your husband's eyes, okay, or as a wife, as a mother. So you continue this kind of good behavior in your workplace and in your own family after you get married, okay or not? So sometimes it's because of this. And then what happens is Now, why is there conflict with the husband now is it's like, yeah, I'm such a good mother, I'm such a good wife, I'm dutiful, Yeah. Why is it that I'm not getting love and attention and affection? So we expect, the subconscious actually expect that, oh, when I do behave this way, that's where how I get the recognition, right? So when you do it in the office, I don't get recognition. Okay, then you felt unfairly treated. Then in your relationship with your husband, okay, you are that dutiful good wife, right? So you expect a lot of recognition, a lot of love and affection and attention. You didn't get it, then you start to feel, why like that? Okay, you start to feel unfair. Then you start to kick up a fuss because there is no recognition. So over time, it developed into conflict. But how it started, it may have actually started with your relationship with your mother. Okay? Yeah. So there is a wound there that get transferred, or expectations. Okay, it becomes expectations. Now, or it could be that when you are young, when you are living with your mother, okay, at 7, 8 years old, okay, you are good, you can be obedient, but now you are 30, 40, 50, 60 years old. How can I continue to be good in order to get the affection? So it becomes a lot of conflict. All right, you want to speak up, you cannot speak up, so you swallow. So you stop communicating, or you stop saying what you truly feel and all that, because you are still stuck in that 7 or 8 years old, cannot speak up. Okay, so all these things, okay, things that happens in the past, because your first relationship is actually relationship with your father and your mother. And then after that, whatever that you learn and pick up at that very, very young age is now repeated with all the people around you. Okay? Yeah. All right. So this one here, father leave the maternal role. So the mother may play a more dominant role in the home, and then the father becomes more maternal, this kind of switch. So if you grow up in this family, and now in your own family, you also expect yourself to be the one that have the say if you are the woman, and then you expect the husband to be doing all the nurturing like the way it is in your own family. That's where conflict will be created. Okay, because now your husband may want you to do more, the more maternal, and then the male should actually take on the dominant role. So you have different values, all right, different expectation. Okay, now home is not a place of security. Okay, now certain people are very homely. Certain people wants to be out all the time because home does not mean security to them. Okay, not so home could mean chaos. Home could mean abuse. Home could mean emotional extortion. Home could mean different things. All right, so in a relationship, some people don't want to spend time at home. Some people want to spend a lot of time at home. So all this, okay, will result in conflicts with people. All right. This one is parenting. Okay, could be how you are brought up. So does not feel accepted by father or man. So you have to see what are the situation in your life where you are not accepted. For example, it could be just a simple instruction. Okay? Yeah. Don't go there. You're let the adults are talking. Okay? So children, can you please go to your room? Yeah. Okay. So things like that will actually cause you to feel that, okay, I'm not a boy, so therefore I cannot sit there with them. So these things, all right. Then here, dominance. Okay, if the person sometimes is experience domination by the father in early childhood, and then after that, you say that I will never marry such a man, and then later on will marry somebody, and that somebody after marriage, later on, that man actually became dominant again to that person. Okay, so these are because of what? These are information that the person absorbed because the subconscious, the nervous system will want to go back to safety. You may feel that why is this safety? Why is dominance of the father is safety? It's familiarity. Okay or not? So the body wants familiarity rather than change. So you may marry a what you think is a good man, but later on that good man turn into a dominant figure in your life because of how things will play out automatically because of your subconscious information. Okay, yeah, so all this, not allowed to cry, don't talk, shut up. Okay, so all this that you receive in childhood can result in later on conflicts, um, passive aggressive, meaning that you are not allowed to express yourself. And therefore, when there is a conflict with anyone, conflict with colleagues, conflict with family members, conflict with in-laws and all that, you cannot express your boundary. You cannot express your desire. You just keep quiet and then you suppress, you start to withdraw or you stop communicating. Okay, yeah. So then it becomes a cold war in that relationship. Okay, yeah. Then sexual relationship. Okay, so this is about it can be in the context of marriage, it can even be in the context outside of marriage, even in the workplace. Okay, to use sexuality to gain power. Okay, now recently somebody shared with me a news that appeared that an intern, somebody who is very, very young in the company, actually rose very quickly to the top and then earned so much more than employees who have been there for almost 2 decades. And how did this person, how did the intern actually climb the way up is through, through an affair with the owner, the co-founder of that particular company. Okay, so this can be learned through different ways through their subconscious. It may not be them. Sometimes it may not even be them. Okay, it is actually what they see and absorb in the growing years. Okay, now then some are confused love and sex. Okay, meaning that if a person shows sexual attraction towards that person, you think that the person actually love you. So therefore, some can actually fall into a trap. Yeah. Then so some avoid intimacy because sexuality is associated with fear, with uncertainty. All right. It could be based on their experience through either sexual harassment, sexual abuse, molest, and other kinds of exposure, okay, that makes them feel unsafe. Okay, parenthood. This is for people who wants to become parents, but tried for many, many, many years, okay, and you have tested let's say biologically, there is no issue, male, female, hormonal, biological organs, all got no issues, tried for many years, but still cannot conceive. This may actually surface, all right, in terms of procreation. Okay, so sometimes they lack, in this case, they lack the emotions, the connections, with an offspring. Okay, they're not ready. Some of them are insecure. It's like, I'm not ready to be a parent. Yeah, although you may think that they have been trying for years to have children. Okay, but there is certain subconscious insecurity or fear of that responsibility, okay, that actually prevent them from conceiving. Okay, now some of them conceive, become parents because they think that that's the only way to be worthy of being loved, that you are able to reproduce, procreate, then only you are valuable, you have worthy, you contribute to the family. Okay, not? But towards the actual love towards the children may be different. Okay, not? Yeah. So different things. Okay, now the quality of your relationship is also dependent on how you receive love. Okay, yeah. Gift. Take gift, for example. When you receive a gift, okay, what are the thoughts in your mind? You know not? So in this case, this person, when receives something, would want to give back 2 or 3 times more, unable to receive. Okay, so sometimes you may think that why am I not receiving love? Why are people not showing love to me anymore? Is sometimes people can feel your vibes, that you reject. Okay, you reject the love in very, very, very subtle ways. You see or not? Now, let's say somebody shows love to you through giving you a gift. Okay. Now, I've seen people who receive a gift from the loved ones and then criticize the gift. So expensive, waste your money. Why do you buy this? And then they start to comment that the color is not nice, this is no good, yeah, and all sorts of things. And they may be unconscious. Why they're actually saying all this is that they are actually unable to receive love. Okay, so that means they may have seen gifts and all this as some form of emotional extortion. Oh, you're trying to buy my affection. You're trying to, get into my good books and all that. So therefore, they reject. So they reject all sorts of things. All right, so they will reject love as well. So if somebody buy you a gift and then instead of appreciating, enjoying the gift, and then people see that every time I buy you a gift, you okay, that's it. Okay or not? So they'll stop buying the gift, and therefore you can never expect flowers, never expect gifts and anything anymore. Okay or not? So because people have seen your reaction and people have felt the rejection. Rejection. Okay? And sometimes people can compliment you. Okay, now think through, how do you respond when your wife compliments you or when your husband compliments you? What is the immediate response, thoughts in your mind? The words may come out differently in the mouth, okay? But it's the thoughts, Sometimes it's like, what have you done? Did you do something wrong? Why are you buying me this? Okay, yeah. So, or he is saying the opposite. Not it's like, oh, you lost some weight, you look slimmer. Then you would think that I think he's telling me the opposite. So all sorts of things. So what goes on in your mind will actually be quite telling. So this one here, yeah, unable to receive because everything has its price. Nothing is unconditional. So when I receive this, whether it's from your boss, from your husband, from your whoever, okay, now what do I need to do in return? So that means if I receive something, and then what else do I have to give even more? So you start to become suspicious of the intention of the gift. Okay, not? Yeah. So these are things that contribute. So what we do is the aura analysis does not just dig out a whole can of worm. So the important thing at the end of it, why you need to read through the statements is to start to know yourself and understand yourself and then try to think. Because sometimes as you read, a scenario will appear in your mind, all right? A certain situation or a feeling may appear. So these are all useful information that you want to acknowledge and harmonize it. Okay, at the end is to do the vibration. And as you vibrate over time, you will see changes coming up. You will see here harmonious. So when the chakra is harmonious, you will see this. Yeah, instead of a lack of motherly love, you will start to learn how to appreciate your mother or start to pay attention, okay, to ways that she has loved you that you have not paid attention before. So over time, your feelings towards your mother may change, all right? And therefore, you will start to experience it. And when you start to feel this, right, like this one, resolved issues that are related to emotional extortion by your mother, and you start to accept the mother's love. Okay, now here is what? Listen, you start to listen to your own feelings and not be manipulated, because sometimes the problem is real and the problem may still be there. But as you do the vibration, your own field is harmonized and therefore you get less and less affected by the drama around you. So you don't get entangled and pulled into it. Okay, then the way you perceive your father, the way you experience the father's love, okay, and then the male and female principle. Okay, for example, what's the meaning of the balance? Okay, so if you used to be more masculine in your ways, all right, okay, if you're a female, you may actually start to develop more of the femininity in you. So if you are a male, okay, who does not like, let's say, responsibility or leadership, you will find that you will change gradually over time to not be fearful of leadership in your household, for example. Okay, so you will start to balance up the male and the female qualities and traits or energy in each one of us, because we need both types of energy, but not too much of either type. Okay, so with regards to relationship intimacy, so let's say you look at your own sex life. So are you having a fulfilling, happy sex life, or are you in the phase of avoidance, okay, yeah, or rejection, etc. So as you do the vibration, you're able to accept intimacy with people. Okay, so the intimacy here may not be a sexual intimacy, but intimacy in terms of connections, feelings, all right, with others. Okay, loving yourself and others unconditionally, and then acceptance. You will start to develop acceptance, unconditional acceptance towards people, because you will start to understand that the way they behave sometimes is not them, but it is the information and programming in them that causes them to behave or express in a certain manner. Okay, yeah. Then fulfilled, happy sexuality. And then here, clarity. Clarity in the responsibility, clarity in why you want to be a parent. Okay. And then you become more decisive in your decision to become either a mother or a father. You know, there are people after vibrating using Healy, then they find that they conceive. All right. There is, I think, one case that I've heard that conceived after using Healy. Okay. Yeah. So because after you let go of all this and as it harmonizes, okay, subconsciously you do not reject anymore. Okay, then boundaries with people, all right, in the relationship, so that you are not dominated, but you are able to state your clear boundary. You're able to communicate, not be bullied, not be harassed. Okay, you dare to walk right to your boss or any colleague that is trespassing their boundary and communicate what you want. Okay. All right. So, yeah, loving yourself unconditionally be happy to give, and then free from need. Free from needing people to love you in a certain way. All right? Yeah. So one is you are sufficient because of your own self-love, self-acceptance, self-esteem. So therefore, you do not expect people to shower you with attention the way you want. So you grow in maturity as well. Okay. All right. Now, another way that you can let these memories of the past, okay, that you have accumulated from your parents, grandparents, ancestors, and even karma to surface is this using Healy Coach. All right. So through Healy Coach, we can also see some of this information. It does not matter whether you type in anything. You can type in now, that means here and now. You can type in any goals, anything that you want to achieve, you can type in. Because whatever that you want to achieve, sometimes it's because of all these wounds, hurts that you have accumulated in the past is actually becoming obstacles in achieving whatever that you want to achieve. All right. Now, here I'm talking about relationship. So you can actually put in a statement in relation to any relationship that you are struggling with, that you want to harmonize. Okay. So you can write your desired outcome and put it in there. All right. Or you can choose from the existing statements in the list, like all this list over here that is related to relationships. Okay, you can actually put it inside. And then after that, when the wheel comes out, right, you choose, all right? Like here, you can choose family relationship, social, if it's a work, then you choose career and social relationship with friends, with colleagues. Huh? And then your own family, you can choose family relationship, personal relationship, or you can choose all those that's related to relationships. Okay, so any of this, or if you don't know, just choose the areas that are red, orange, yellow, light green. You can choose all those areas. Okay, yeah. So entirely up to you, entirely up to you. Okay, no right or wrong. Okay, now I'm showing you how to see where all this comes from. Okay, yeah. So over here is the third information here. This third piece of information here, or you can read the statements on top. The statements on top. Like here, when it says what? Dissolve imprints and ancestral claims. Imprints and ancestral claims. That means this particular issue here is related to what you have accumulated over time. Okay, now you may be thinking, why? What has it got to do with my ancestors and me right now? I don't even know them. Okay, because your DNA comes from way back many generations. Okay, now a lot of information is actually stored in biological tissues, in the microtubules, in the water, for example. So all these things can be transmitted through time, all right, whether you know them or not. Now, the other explanation that I heard recently has to do with quantum entanglements. They are not here with you, but, okay, but your information and their information, that means a grandparents whom you may not have met before, or an ancestors are still entangled at the quantum information level. Okay or not? So that's why what you're going through is not just you alone, all right? A lot of things are happening inside your body, your life. Okay, a lot of information that actually does not belong to you. So if you see imprints, ancestral, then it says here, I release all patterns of suffering. So here it means that you are actually holding on to suffering. You can't let go of suffering. Okay or not? So why? Because of past, because of the past. Okay, your ancestors, certain things that they go through, that they hang on and they refuse to let go. Okay, whether it's suffering, despair, or whatsoever, it will repeat again and again and again. So you find that, hey, why is life so miserable? And some is for whole life. That means from their teenage years, they go through a lot of suffering. Then when they get married, oh, a lot of suffering. Okay. And then with their children, a lot of suffering. So it's like suffering after suffering after suffering. And then they wonder why their life is like that. Why, so much. Sometimes it's because of this. You're hanging on to the need to to suffer. Okay. And you cannot get out of that cycle there. Okay or not? So you will repeat. So here, LM 23 and then C12, these are actions in this life that you will repeat again to go through the same suffering. Okay? Yeah, they call this like a hidden alignment. You are aligning with your parents, your grandparents, your ancestors, all the sufferings. Okay, so you repeat it again in your life, those sufferings. Okay, and then here, fear of success. Okay, inability to admit success. Fear of success. Why? Because somewhere, this is 1E6 is karmic. Somewhere in your past life, you may have been a very successful person. And then what happens is that success leads to maybe a sudden interruption, failure, okay, a big loss. Then after that, you develop that fear of success. Okay or not? So now in this life, when you go through it, you will find self-sabotage. Okay, when people will say, wow, you're so good, you don't want to shine, you don't want to be visible because you are afraid that that kind of spotlight, limelight will again lead to failures. Okay, or you'll find that every time I'm successful or I feel I'm successful, oh, something bad happens. You see or not? So this may have to do with certain past information that is still within your subconscious space. Okay, all right. Yeah. So it could be success in marriage, then you self-sabotage until it becomes terrible that leads to divorce. It could be success in your business, in your career, somehow you will sabotage. All right. Now, fear of future, whether it's the marriage or whether it's the money lack that leads to sometimes money issues lead to uh, broken relationship because there's so much tension and stress. Fear of the future could be, yeah, materially, all right? Yeah. So these things may come from where parents, 1E12 means it originated from your parents. So it could be either through upbringing. You see how your parents navigate through poverty. It could be during the wartime or something happens to the business, bankrupt, and then your family has to, navigate through lots of difficulty and challenges, and you develop that fear. It becomes a hidden alignment with what your parents go through. And then for your whole life, you plan and plan and plan. You plan your promotion, you plan your retirement, you plan. I'm not saying that it's not good, but the planning becomes obsessive. Okay? Yeah. That if you don't see this, you feel fear and insecurity. So that means that some hidden information that is actually controlling you if it becomes obsessive. Okay? All right. Now, Another one, 1E6 here, when you see this is actually another karmic memory again. Now, sometimes this one says you provoke situations that create problems. So you think through the dramas at home. All right. Are you the one that provoke? Because you know the person's sensitive spot, and then you say something to make that person flip, wow. And then after that, you derive joy, okay, because you are in control. Okay, I managed to make you angry, upset because of the way you make me angry and upset. Okay, or not? Yeah, certain family dramas, and you may not be aware that you are the one causing it. Now, the good thing about using Healy is as you do the vibration, you will slowly, over time, recognize, okay, the unconscious causes. Okay, after a while, you realize that, am I at fault here? Am I the one? Why do I say this? So you don't know why you behave that way. Then after that, you will start to do the reflection and then say, oh, I should have said that. Oh, I was the one who provoked the situation. So you slowly come to realization. And that's the beauty of using Healy. All right. So it creates more and more awareness. Awareness means your subconscious used to automatically control you in that automatic behavior. So when you realize means you are able to step out of the situation, the drama. That means you step out and then you watch the situation, why the problem is like that. And that's how you're able to then solve the problem when you're outside rather than when you're entangled with all the messy feelings. Okay? All right? Okay, now percentage that you see over here, percentage here is the ranking of the urgency. The higher the percentage, like 90%, right on top is always the most important, most urgent. Okay, now you see here, this is a positive number and this is a negative number. Positive number is likely what we know. Okay, like fear of future, you probably know that you have that obsessive fear of the future. Now here, negative means it's hidden, that you may not actually know that you are the one provoking situation and creating problems for yourself. That means in the office, you cannot get along with anyone. Everybody, you think everybody has a problem, okay? And then you fight with everyone. I've seen, in my workplace, there is one or two that literally quarrel with every single person in the school. All right. And they don't know. They are not aware. They think that they are right and everybody else is wrong. So it's unconscious. It's negative. Is you not? Yeah. So, but when you know, it's likely positive. Okay or not? Yeah. So if you don't know, it doesn't matter when it comes out. Okay. Take the feedback and then do your own reflection. Okay, then do the vibration and then the next time observe whether these things actually surface again. Okay, now you may find that, wow, this is actually interesting. It's like we all want happy, fulfilling relationships, right? Who does not want an easy, happy life? And you look at this, okay, this could be a karmic trauma. Okay, now the person may actually have fear of feeling of happiness and ease. Okay, now there is this thing called interruption of love. That means in one of the past life that this person have is the person is probably enjoying life and in your peak of love and relationship. And then suddenly, the person whom you love or the person who loves you was taken away suddenly. All right. Sometimes it's through death. And then the love was suddenly cut off. And then the next day, okay, they become orphaned. Okay. The next day, mother is gone, father is gone. The significant person is gone. interruption, sudden interruption. And they develop this fear of feelings of happiness and ease. And then this person will live the whole life either looking sad or control. Okay? Restrict your happiness. Don't be too happy. Because if I'm too happy, this happiness may be short-lived and it may be gone. You know, no? So that subconscious fear is still lingering in their lives. Okay? And therefore, throughout life, it's like you dare not be too happy. Okay? All right? Then you will start to see things negatively so that you don't see that, wow, life is perfect and all that. You start find some unhappy things or imperfection and focus on it to prevent yourself from being overly happy. Okay? Yeah. So it can play out in many, many ways. Okay? It's not exactly as what I say. I'm giving you a lot of examples here to actually trigger your thoughts and your mind. All right? Yeah. So this one here, okay, LM30. I normally ignore the DCLM. I look at the last number here. This is because of wrong belief. It is the belief that I am not lovable, I'm not capable of love. Okay, wrong spelling here. Cannot, yeah. So all these things. So if you have unhappy relationship with anyone, okay, so somebody asked, Jared asked, should you put the name of the person in the coach? Yes. If you're using coach and if you know specifically with whom you want to heal the relationship and what is the outcome of that relationship that you want, okay, you put in the name. That will be better. Then when it surfaces all this, it helps you to understand what are the issues and the problems that are actually causing the conflict with the person. Okay or not? So that means if you put that statement, all right, you want to heal the relationship with A and it come out this one here, that means the conflict, the struggle with this person is because you feel that you are not lovable and not capable of love. So then you think through all the struggles and problems that you have in the past, that these could be the underlying cause, that your own self-love, okay, stem from your own lack of self-love that trigger a lot of other problems. Okay, so we go to the root, the deeper issues that is surfacing and playing out in our reality. Okay, now let's talk about healing the mother wound. We want to heal, all right? Whether or not your mother is still here or not anymore, it does not matter. Okay, now to heal the wound with the mother is using soul cycle, all right? And this soul cycle is developed by Martina Conrads. Okay? Now, she suggested to use it this way for the first time because this program here, okay, when Martina shared why this program is so important, this is actually to heal our relationship with our mother. Okay, separation from the mother. Separation from the mother in many, many ways. From the womb, when you are first separated, that's the first separation with the mother. Okay, marriage is a separation from your maternal home, and then death. All right, if they're no longer with you, that is also separation with your mother. Okay, yeah. So how to heal and recover from that lack of or absence of the love from your mother. And that love is so important to us that because of that lack or absence, it generated and created a lot of other problems in our lives. Okay? Yeah. Here, okay, the first one, so used in this sequence, the programs, that you see in the Healy may not be arranged in this sequence. You can take a screenshot, and then if you want to do this, okay, do it in this recommended sequence. So you use it in the morning, okay, use it in the morning or early afternoon, once a day, 3 times, 3 days consecutively. Okay, so let's say if you start tomorrow is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, use acceptance 1 time, all right, before early afternoon. Okay, so acceptance would be your ability to accept your situation. So sometimes we rejected the situation, we suppress, we don't want to think about it, don't even mention it, the sort of thing. So first one, 3 days acceptance. Okay, recognizing that the problem, the struggle, the situation is there and accepting it. Then the second one is serenity. Serenity, I've used it before. Wow, it's like you can't be triggered by anything. You're just so peaceful. So when you face the situation, you're bound to have a lot of all these emotions coming out and all that. So this will help to keep you balanced and peaceful. And then burden, when you use burden, take note of pain in the body. Whether the pain is on the shoulders here, stiffness, if you have been having a lot of stiffness on the shoulders, the back, you're carrying shouldering some burdens. Okay, if it's your hand muscle, that means burden that prevents you from acting. If you feel pain, let's say in your legs, muscle aching and all that, is signaling that those burden is actually preventing you from moving forward in life. Okay, so you are stuck where you are. Then the fourth one would be emotions. So as you revisit some of these, as you think through, it will surface the chaotic emotions. So this is to deal with your emotions and then to clean your aura. All right. Program 5, clean your aura. Whatever leakage, attachment, and all that. And then 6, to be able to feel happy for no reason, to be able to feel happy even though the problem is still there, whether the struggle is still there, all right? To be happy for no reason. So you'll be very lighthearted, you will be smiling, laughing, okay? You'll find that it's just lighthearted, okay? Rather than dwelling on the situation, okay? You're able to feel happy. Confidence is the next one. Okay, then you see on day 10, there is a self-confidence. This confidence means your outlook. Okay, in that struggle, in that relationship, you are either confident that things will get better, you are confident that you can move on. Okay, you can be free from that grip. You can be free. Okay, and then inner balance here would be your body, mind, and soul to harmonize again your inner purpose, your intention. Okay, body, mind, soul, and then your power reserve here would be your inner battery, your energy. This is not the external energy, but the internal energy, the inner drive. Okay, power reserve. Self-confidence is trusting yourself, trusting your own ability, your own resilience to survive the situation, to come out of the situation, that you have enough resources, okay, enough inner strength to actually get through it. All right, so that's self-confidence. Energy balance is more on your external, it's more the energy for action, and stimulation is your purpose and planning. So you see that it's arranged in a way where the first phase from 1 to 5 is to face the situation and get rid of the pain, get rid of the burden, to push everything out. And then from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, here onwards, It is to realign, readjust your inner world. Okay, this is your inner world. Okay, reset. Okay, your inner world. And then after your inner world will be the action to be taken in your outer world. So that will be your 10, 11, 12. So it's like, one morning you wake up, I'm ready to face the world. I'm ready to face anything come my way. So you will start to do the planning. You will start to take action, how to improve relationship with your parents, your in-laws, your spouse, your immediate family, your extended family, your colleagues at the workplace, in the community, everywhere. So that's where you will start to express it outwards. All right. While you are healing, okay, all these things can actually start to take place. All right. So the whole entire duration here, if you are committing to do this, is 36 days. Okay, 36 days. So after that, you can pick and choose whichever that you need if the struggle and the situation is still ongoing. All right. Okay. All right. So this is the test done by Healy World to show how effective the soul cycle is in improving well-being. All right. So this group here are people who just randomly choose any Healy programs to use for their well-being. And then the other group is those who use the soul cycle. Okay, in comparison, the improvement for using Soul Cycle is 1.91, and using other Healy groups is much lesser. All right. So, yeah. So, if you have any of these relationship issues that result in a lot of emotional challenges, upheaval, use the Soul Cycle. Okay, you can use that. Okay, so it harmonizes and work on every area here, reconnecting with the people whom you have maybe stopped communicating, withdraw your communication, or you start to numb your feelings and not feel anymore. Okay, so now is to reignite, to be able to feel love, to reconnect, okay, to find peace within yourself and your relationship. Okay, let go of all your fears and then work on the future that you desire. Okay, so if you have MagHealy, you can use coherence for unity and balance of your body, mind, and soul. So everything is aligned. That means when in your heart, when you want something, your mind and your words, everything is all coherent. All right. Relationship is to remove negative feelings. Family harmony is for any relationships. Okay, so if you want to harmonize relationship with your colleagues, you can bring your MagHealy to your office and then vibrate family harmony. Okay, yeah. So relationship, I will recommend it more for people who are closer to you, your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, children. Okay, with your parents. Yeah, your more of your immediate family that you want to be more intimate with. All right. Whereas family can be for friends or more cordial relationship. Okay, so frequencies that may appear, and you can see here some of the benefits. Like when you use family harmony, whether it's for your own family, is also okay. Just run. The good thing about MagHealy versus the Healy is good for personal. But when you use MagHealy atmosphere, all the individuals that is within 2 meters from the MagHealy, when they receive the frequencies, everybody is harmonized at the same time. You see or not? So it's good during family gathering. It's good during like family meals. All right. Yeah. Okay. Or during R&R, etc. So it's good to use family harmony atmosphere during that time. So any past grudges, conflicts, all that can be released. okay, calms your nervous system, stabilize emotions, okay, release all these past resentment, emotional wounds and all that. You just keep using. And then you'll find that those resentment will slowly fade, F-A-D-E, they will just gradually fade away. Okay, and some of the issues that I used to have, now I cannot even remember them anymore. Okay, it's like completely the unhappy incidences is like completely removed from my consciousness, from my memory. I can't recall some of them. Okay, yeah, just keep using. All right, clearing negative energy in the space, synchronize mood, especially if there is a group of people involved. Release guilt, fear, reduce your anxiety. Okay, what else? Prevent escalation of conflict. Safe space for vulnerable thoughts, especially during reconciliation. Okay, so the ego is there, the guilt is there, the shame is there, the fear of rejection is there. So you can run this, okay, while you have the face-to-face talk. Okay, womb frequency. Yeah, 1 Hz is known as the womb rhythm. Okay, so this one here for relationships is good. It mimic the post-orgasm brain waves that you produce, heal past relationship trauma, okay, regulate meltdowns, anger, temper. Then 639 is your solfeggio. Restore emotional intimacy if it's already faded. All right. Then it's not just one-sided, it's mutual. So that it's not just you are the ones that desire the connection, but when you use this, both parties will also desire the connection as well. So this is relationship 1.6 here. All right, heal past relationship trauma. Okay, conflict resolution, 100 Hz. Then you have 101 soul alignment. Okay, just now I mentioned about ancestor, your parents, grandparents, ancestors, karmic memories. This one here, 101 here, 101 Hz for soul alignment, release generational relationship trauma. You see how powerful Healy and MagHealy is. It's beyond my imagination, really. Okay, I can't imagine why that we have the tools and not use it. Use it and see how the qualities of your relationship will improve. All right. So in the relationship struggle, okay, don't talk about I want to heal the other person, I want to change the other person. Okay, work on yourself. When you do our own inner work, when you heal, the other person can actually feel it. Okay, the other person can feel it. Yeah. So there are people who come and tell me that as they do their own inner work, the people around them change. The people around them becomes better, or they were treated better by others. Okay, and there is somebody who has been having the intention to heal uh, relationship in the family where the children are not talking to each other. So they are in bad terms. And during one of the uh, wedding of one of the child, the other children refuse to attend. Okay. And as a parent, it hurts them so much. This is such an important milestone and they refuse to be present. Okay. And for years, talking to this person, the other person, all the pep talk and trying to pull people together were not successful. And as she started to use Healy and MagHealy, okay, after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, they want to give up. It's like they think that nothing is happening. It's like nothing is happening, no change, nothing is happening. They tell me that I've been using MagHealy for so many months. Nothing is changing, nothing is happening. And then suddenly, okay, a few weeks back, they said that uh, on her birthday, the children came back and they talk to each other as if nothing has happened before. That means as if there was no conflict and they are totally reconciled, you know. So it really surprised her. It's like, what happened? Okay, now let's put things in perspective. Okay, is it very long to just keep on doing the vibration for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year? If humans cannot solve the deadlock in the relationship for 2 years, 3 years. The other one was a decade. And another one I told you was 3 decades. If human cannot solve this kind of deadlock for over so many years, and if Healy, just by pressing the button and vibrating for 3 months, the 3 years of conflict is resolved. If you vibrate for 1 month, that 10 years of Cold War get resolved. Is it too long? We can't solve, and Healy just take 1 month or 3 months to solve. Okay, and then the decades one, probably they have to vibrate for 6 months, and then they see the reconciliation during Chinese New Year. Is that very long? 3 decades, you can't solve the problem, and Healy solve it in 6 months for you. And here we are saying it's taking too long. Okay or not? Right? So just vibrate and don't give up. Okay. Yeah. So, most importantly, don't depend on other people to love us. Okay. We have to first love ourselves. And self love is the way we treat ourselves. Okay. And self love means being respectful to your own body and your feelings. All right. To eat, to feel happy, to do whatever possible. And when you are in a messy situation, self-love is taking everything, all the imperfect parts of yourself, the messy, the lazy, the sad, the depressed, everything, and holding them, meaning that don't reject them. Okay, sometimes we don't like what we see in ourselves and we reject ourselves. We are the first person who reject ourselves before others. So no, self-love means that we look at all this imperfection and allow it, allow the process of inner healing. Do the work. Okay? Let the human be messy. If it's your child that is messy, okay? Unconditional love is letting the child be in that messy situation, okay? And at the same time, helping them to find clarity and get out of it. Okay, so having compassion first to yourself, if we are the ones, okay? Noticing our worst traits is actually our gift because the worst trait is where the opportunity for healing lies. Okay, and we see this in the people around us. So we develop compassion because what we hear today, we know that it may not be them who wants to be in that situation, but the programming that is in them that is causing them to get into that messy situation. All right, so it helps us to love and accept people unconditionally when we understand this. Okay, so I invite you, if you have any, if Healy has done anything that makes your life better, happier, please step forward to share. We can take like three sharings. Okay, so and as you are being healed, the problem may still be there, the struggle may still be there. We are all work in progress. Okay, if we are healed and as we are being healed, we can still reach out to help those around us. And that is our Healy collective community worldwide that we want to develop here. That we want every household to have Healy and MagHealy to, okay, for deeper healing.